Hello everybody! It feels really weird recording a video rather than doing a live stream. But anyway, I promised I'd keep you updated with my computer woes. In my last video, which was pretty much a week ago now, I mentioned that I was going to have to pause live streams on the channel for a little bit, and I wasn't exactly sure how long that would be. Well, you can watch the video where I go into tremendous detail about the situation by clicking the link up here. But in brief, I noticed that the chassis of the laptop I used for streaming was developing a bulge around the trackpad, and even without taking the case apart, I knew instantly that it was a case of battery swell, and that I needed to just stop using the computer immediately or else risk a fire or explosion or something equally as dramatic. I just needed to try and get it repaired, basically. And then, whilst I could have probably switched to using the PC I use for playing PC games on the channel as a backup, and carrying on streaming all things console, I couldn't do that because if you've watched the channel recently, you know that that's gone away for repair for something else. So I bring good news. That gaming PC is now back on its way home. I haven't got it at home under my desk yet, but it will be back with me later tonight. And it's being picked up and transported by somebody I trust. So give me a chance to get everything restored and set up again, and then we should be able to carry on playing some PC games pretty soon on the channel, which is fun. So back to the streaming laptop. Well, I've had a lot of fun, in inverted commas, with this one over the last week or so. And doing videos like this really isn't usually my style on the channel, but I really wanted to go into detail about this because this whole process has just really shocked me. So the laptop I use for streaming is a Razer Blade 15. It was bought brand new from Razer on their UK website back in August 2019. In fact, literally just yesterday, it was 3 years to the date when I first bought it. Spent a small fortune on this laptop too. It was about £1,500, which at the moment, the way that the world is going with prices rising everywhere, the cost of living just increasing day by day, £1,500 is an enormous sum of money. Usually you can justify spending something like that because you know you're going to get a good number of years use out of it. And obviously with me doing these daily live streams for the last couple of years, it's been pretty well used. In fact, I don't think, bar when I went away on a holiday, I don't think there's been a day in the last few years where it's not really been used. So, as you all know, the laptop suffered a battery swell last week, so I headed to Razer's website to see what they could do. I knew it was out of warranty because it was 3 years old, but as a reasonably techie-minded sort of person, I felt that I was probably good enough to just buy a new battery from them and fit it myself. And I stress I wanted to get the battery from them because I didn't want to potentially buy a counterfeit one from another website, as it can be a bit of a lottery with them sometimes. So the first problem I came up against is that you can't actually just buy a battery from Razer. If you head to their website and go to the support section and dive into the bit about batteries, they actually strongly recommend that you don't replace your own battery and instead set up a support ticket with them and arrange for them to do it. So presumably they get the laptop shipped to them or they collect it somehow, they do their thing and then they send it back good as new. And in the case of the laptop being out of warranty, obviously I expect that there's a parts and labour charge probably for this, and maybe even the shipping. But we're probably talking between £100 and £150 maybe. That's what I thought anyway. And I was accepting that that might have to be the case. So I sent in my ticket to their support system with all the details they needed. The serial number of the laptop, the date, and the proof of purchase, so my email order confirmation. From 3 years ago. And then it took them a few days for them to respond and to acknowledge that they'd received the ticket. And then a few days later, I got an email from them. I was all excited to open it and read it. But that excitement soon turned. I was pretty astounded, really, by what the email said. I'm going to read it. It said, "Hello, Tom. Thank you for being a Razer customer. We see that you have one of Razer's original products. We value your commitment to Razer. We noticed that your device has reached its end of serviceable life. This means that there are no longer parts available to perform the necessary repairs, as this product has been retired by Razer. The good news though is Razer has built new models with great new features packed with the most state-of-the-art computing devices that would probably fit your gaming or work needs. To see our current listings, you may visit www.razer.com. And then it had my case number and it said, we are looking forward to hearing from you. Well, I bet they regret saying that, because ever since I've just not backed down on this. This laptop is 3 years old. 3 years! That's really not that long ago. 3 years ago was 2019, and given that the last 2.5 years we've all been really busy with the worldwide pandemic, 3 years really doesn't seem that long ago. But apparently Razer thinks it's enough time to just entirely drop support for a product. A fairly high-priced product too. And as I mentioned before, when you buy something of such high value, you justify the purchase by knowing you're going to get a good number of years' use out of it. And I really don't think 3 years is enough use out of a laptop computer. I also use a MacBook Pro every day. I bought that in January 2015, direct from Apple. And as recent as July last year, so again in 2021, when the computer was 6.5 years old, Apple was still able to take it in and repair a broken screen. I'd accidentally knocked the screen, it caused the LCD to smash, and yeah, totally my fault. Hold my hands up, my problem, but I needed it fixed. So Apple were really good about it. They, said, let's get an appointment in your local store. So I hopped on the train, went to Leeds, where my nearest Apple store is, and they had a look at it and they go, yeah, well, I tell you what we'll do. We'll just replace the whole top lid. The whole thing, we'll take it off and we'll put a new lid on, because that's just how they repair things like that. And yes, it cost me a bit of money, but it was a few £100, and it's potentially extended the life of my MacBook for a number of years to come, or presumably until I break something on it again. Now, granted, I do believe that that model is now at the stage where if something was to happen, it would take a sheer stroke of luck for them to still have the parts to repair it. But I kind of accept that now. The MacBook will turn 8 years old in January. So advanced happy birthday greetings to it for then. But you could probably argue I've had my money's worth out of it. But 3 years, and to add insult to injury, it's only the battery in this Razer laptop that has faltered. If I was to take a gamble and buy one of them on a well-known online retailer, potentially a fake, we're talking about £75 and £100. But as I say, I'd much rather pay a little bit more, safe in the knowledge that it's a genuine product, and buy it from Razer themselves. They just apparently don't have any. Well, in the last few days, I've gone full-on conspiracy theorist on this and searched high and low across the internet about it. In fact, you may even have stumbled across my rants on Razer's various social media channels. Apparently they've not blocked me yet. This morning, I was browsing the Razer subreddit, which seems to have quite a good representation from Razer themselves. They hop into their threads and they kind of try and help people out and like take them off into PMs and do things through official channels. But I happened to stumble across a post from somebody who was thanking Razer for sending him a replacement battery. I was shocked. Upon closer inspection, the battery in the picture is the exact same model as the one from my laptop. So, how do I know this? Well, when it became clear that Razer weren't going to budge on their line of, your laptop is dead, just move on and buy another one, I decided I might as well take the case apart and have a look at the situation for myself, at least just to satisfy my curiosity of seeing a swollen battery for my very own eyes. So I ordered a T5 screwdriver and then took the bottom of the laptop off. And there was this monstrosity. And as I compare the various model numbers to the one on that Reddit post, they're pretty much identical. The same capacity, the same voltage, the same manufacturer. The holes to mount it to the chassis all line up. As far as I'm aware, it is identical. It's the battery that I need in my laptop. So if Razer are willing to send out this guy a new battery, why won't they do it for me? Did they just happen to have one battery left in their warehouse and this guy looked out and got it? Or, as he actually says in the post, did it just take an immense amount of pressure with customer services for them to finally give in and actually come up with the goods? I don't know. As I said, I just stumbled across this Reddit post this morning and I've emailed the support with a link to it, asking why they're willing to do it for this guy and not for me, and I'm actually yet waiting to hear from them. Maybe they will give in, but I get the sense that they won't, because their customer service so far has just been shocking. When you compare it against that service I got from Apple last year, it's oceans apart. So I'm at the point where I just cannot not recommend Razer enough right now. I said that right, didn't I? I will just never buy anything from them now. I just can't trust them, ever. Not a laptop, but not even a smaller thing, like a keyboard or a mouse, or one of those ridiculous things that just lights up colours and doesn't really do anything apart from just cost money. And I know I'm not exactly a big voice on the internet. I have a gaming YouTube channel with just about 200 subscribers. But I'll be telling anybody who ever asks me my opinion to just stay clear of them. This was just a battery. It could just so easily have been solved by just sending me a new one. And they clearly seem to have them. But this whole dragging their heels thing is boring. And that whole line they said in the original email about the good news is you can buy a new device from our website. That just proves to me that their profit comes before their reputation. This problem with the swollen batteries in Razer laptops really isn't new either. It's everywhere out there on the internet. And as a company, they just try to sweep it under the carpet. They keep telling people, oh, we'll send you a direct message. We'll pick this up offline. It's just to get it away from the public view so that prospective Razer customers don't see it. Well, I'm not backing down easily. I really want Razer to know just how wrong this whole thing is. I'm still emailing customer support daily to show my dissatisfaction. And, I even wrote a letter to their CEO, which is usually a good trick if you want to try and get some attention within a company. But I sent that 48 hours ago and I've not had any acknowledgement of that either. So perhaps it's not just the customer service department that's not too good on the communications front. So anyway, I promised you all I'd update you with the progress on my situation, and there it is. So you might be thinking, are you going to buy a new laptop, Tom? Well, no. The great thing about laptops is that most of them don't actually need the battery to actually function. So seeing as though I've now removed the battery from the laptop, I can just plug it in to the AC adapter and run it like a desktop computer. So as I speak, it's here. It's back up and running. It's running just as it was, absolutely fine. And so in theory, I could just do some more streaming today. Although I think I'm just going to give myself another day off to just cool off from this whole process and just digest everything. But streams are going to resume on the channel this week. Tomorrow, as I record this, is Wednesday, and fingers crossed, we'll be back on tomorrow at 5:15, and we'll carry on doing these daily live streams, 5:15, Monday to Friday, UK time. And we can crack on and do some good streams, and over the next few weeks, a month, hopefully have some fun, because this whole process just has not been fun for me at all. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for following. I know these monologue recorded videos aren't really my sort of thing, but in the absence of having a community tab on the channel, I thought it was really good idea to give you all a proper update, and then it wasn't just left to me to reply to somebody in a chat on a stream at some point and just do like an unscripted rant while I'm trying to play Zelda or something. So thank you very much for watching, and fingers crossed I'll see you all the next time when I play games. Bye!